So truth be told, I don't want to see anybody get banned who doesn't deserve it. And even if they do deserve it, it's hard for me to justify being banned, because if you spend a lot of time on the internet, if you make money from being on the internet and it just gets taken away from you super quick, it's hard for me to justify that, because for some people this is their livelihood. But when it comes to other people like low tier God, I can't help but completely understand and actually kind of get behind why they were banned and why people are happy they got banned. If you don't know who LTG is a YouTuber, streamer. Well, not even a YouTuber anymore. He got his channel deleted. Anyway, basically he's a streamer who goes on stream and just plays fighting games most of the time. Sometimes he reacts, but most of the time is playing fighting games with his audience. He originally started back in the day, which is how he got his name, by being in fighting game tournaments and only using low tier characters. He refuses to use high tier, or some would consider meta characters, and it even got him to be on a show where he got booted off fairly quickly. I'm pretty sure it was either in the first or second round, but regardless, LTG has been in the fighting space for a very long time. I don't know the exact moment in which he got deleted. This isn't a documentary, so I'm not gonna go and try to find and all this other shit, because I honestly don't care enough or have the time. But long story short, he probably said some stupid shit which caused him to be completely ostracized from FGC. Like he can't even go to their tournaments, I'm pretty sure, bro, because he just has a problem with anyone and everyone for literally no reason. And the thing about LTG is that there are whole channels on YouTube dedicated to watching him fail. There's this series on YouTube called the Mentally Untouchable series, which the reason why it's called that is because for some reason LTG, who's a flaming narcissist by the way, says that he is mentally untouchable. And in those compilations, I think there's like 5 of them at least. I'm not even lying, I've seen all of them. They're absolutely hilarious, where he just gets trolled and gets mad and yells at the game, calls anybody who doesn't like him sexuals, sometimes racist, sometimes homophobic, makes your mom jokes for some reason. But I guess when you're as old as he is, your mom jokes are just peak comedy, so it is what it is. And I bet you're wondering to yourself, why do people not like LTG? First and foremost, like I said a little bit earlier, he's a narcissist. He basically thinks he's the best person on planet Earth. He thinks he has a chiseled physique. He thinks he's mentally untouchable, and he thinks he's really good at fighting games, and he's not any of those things. I will say that one thing I will give LTG that he doesn't say a lot is he's funny, and it almost sucks that he's funny, because like I say, bro, I don't want to see anybody get banned. I want to see you win. I honestly do. Like, I'm not lying when I say that. But at the end of the day, bro, you don't do yourself any favors, even if you are being funny, because you relentlessly go after people. And that's another reason people don't like him. If you say anything about him, and I mean anything, no matter how big or small your channel is, he will find it and he will say something about it. Bro, me, and I'm talking about me, I made one comment about him in my second most popular video, which is about Kai or whatever. I basically called him an old head that he's nearly 40 years old, which is very true. He's both of those things. I'm not even gonna lie. Considering how many times he talks about people's mothers, that's a very old head thing to do. But anyway, point being is, I talked about him and I timed it for maybe about 30 seconds out of a over 7-minute video, and he commented on it. Not only did he comment on it, he said I don't know exactly what he said, I'll have to find the exact comment, but I know for a fact he probably just called me stupid or young or something like that, which is absolutely hilarious, because because at the time I had even less than 100 subscribers, and I did not expect that video to do as well as it did. So it's like, even if you have less than 100 subscribers and you say one thing about that man, he is so mentally bothered by anything you say about him that he will most likely respond. He was bothering this guy named June the King for, not even lying, for probably about 2 to 3 years, because he made a rise and fall video about LTG, which he does a rise and fall video about everybody, and I would say that he's relatively neutral on most things. And LTG was so mentally bothered by that video that he tried to dox, I actually think he did dox June, got his fans to relentlessly strike his channel, false flags, emails, went after his family. Like, I'm not even lying. This dude, LTG, definitely did deserve to get banned. And another reason he probably deserved to get banned that I didn't mention yet is the fact that he doxes people. As if being a general menace to society wasn't enough, this man has the unmitigated goal to dox people who say bad things about him. And there have been people who have said that they wanted to fight him, and he hasn't responded to them yet. He just refuses to do it. He'd much rather block you before saying anything or doing anything if you call him out. It's the most hilarious thing on planet Earth, and trying to understand someone like LTG is a futile task, because understanding somebody like him does nothing for you. Honestly, it really doesn't. At the end of the day, I feel as though Dale Wilson, which is his name by the way, it's not Delawan Sparrow, it's Dale. I feel as though Dale, I'll say it again, Dale has a big issue with himself that he needs to figure out. I'm not even going to try to be an armchair psychologist, but I really do feel like if you have such a problem with whatever somebody says about you, no matter how big or small their channel is, you are a weird individual. And again, there's nothing wrong with defending yourself, but all I did was call that man an old head, and he was so mentally bothered by that he felt the need to comment on my video and probably disliked my video too. I'm not even gonna lie to you, he probably didn't even watch the whole rest of the thing, which why would he? Because I mentioned his name, that's the most important part of the video. And yesterday I made a video about EDP, and a big part of that video, or what I thought was a big part of the video, was the fact that he takes zero accountability for his actions. LTG was literally banned, and he for some reason has never came out and apologized to anybody he said anything to. I mean, one of his biggest clips on the internet is him telling somebody that they should delete themselves immediately, and goes on a rant about it for like a minute and a half straight. Like, what in your mind thinks that that's okay? I mean, he even laughed at watching a video of watching the Ronnie McNutt video. Is, if you've seen that video, you know that that's nothing to laugh about. And I understand, like, a nervous laugh, like, oh my god, that's insane, that's crazy, I feel so bad for him, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some people nervous laugh as a reaction, and that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But this dude was actually cackling, talking about some he was mentally bothered and blah 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 and all this other stuff. Look, man, and this is a message directly towards LTG. You will never be what you want to be. You are nearly 40 years old. Okay? You wanted to be an actor. Clearly that's not gonna work. I don't understand how you change your name from Dale Wilson to Delawan Sparrow, and it's still the weakest name I've ever heard in my entire life. I can't talk. My name is Todd. But Delawan Sparrow? Not to mention, he's so big of a narcissist that he dashboards to his PlayStation home screen anytime You Lose pops up on the screen for any of the fighting games that he plays. You have to play a certain way against him, or else you're a tryhard, or you're lazy, or you're this or you're that. In Smash, this man plays as Richter, and it's probably the most boring gameplay I've ever seen in my entire life. On Tekken, he plays Miguel. Again, more boring gameplay. And if you play against him and you try too hard, then it's, oh, you try too hard, you're a try hard, I don't even want to try against you, we shouldn't even be on the same screen. And then if you play like him and you just spam moves, then it's, oh, you're playing like me, you're a spammer and blah 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 and all this other stuff. It just makes no sense to me at all for why this man thinks that he's probably the best fighting game person out there. You know, it's a lose-lose situation with this dude. And if you're a fan of him, it has to be frustrating watching him play any type of game, because you know for a fact it's gonna end in him rage quitting like a little girl every single time. I've seen this man complain about things that he does. If somebody else does the things that he doesn't even accept mirror matches, because apparently he can only play the character that he's playing as. It just makes no sense. And then on top of that, he gets mad when people use meta characters. Well, yeah, quote unquote low tier god, you lose low tier characters. This goes for anybody. If you're playing a fighting game against a meta character and you purposefully use a low tier character, you can't really get mad. That's a meta character. They're a meta, which means people, quote unquote scrubs, are gonna use them, sure, but they're still a meta character. They make sense to be in the meta. Don't sit up here and act surprised when you lose when you're using a low tier person. It doesn't make any sense to me. Basically, Dalawan Sparrow is just an overgrown man-child who can't seem to try to right his wrongs. My thing is this, and here's some advice I would give to LTG completely for free. You don't even have to pay me for this, okay? And we know how much you like when people pay for stuff. Like when you tell people to pay the fee so we can see your ugly ass chin strap you've been having for the past 10 years. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that this is something I would tell LTG so I can help him out. Number one, don't give in to the trolls. It's so easy. Just don't do it. If a troll wins against you and they're teabagging and blah, 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 just let it happen. Why do you get so mad? It doesn't matter. It's just a game. You say it all the time how it doesn't matter. You're playing like it's a tournament. Same thing goes for you. It doesn't matter. It's literally just a game. Let them have it. Another thing is, stop being an idiot. Stop being a dumb person, okay? Stop calling people out their names. Stop talking about people's mothers. Just have a stream where you are just a normal contributing member of society. I'm not even sure you can do that, but just have a stream where you can do that. And number three, just apologize to people. Apologize to the people you've wronged, okay? Apologize to people who you've called out their names for absolutely no reason. Stop going into people's comment sections crying because they're talking about you, and just let people talk. It's that simple. But you can't do that because your overinflated ego, your head is so big. It really is big. I'm not gonna lie. You put that motherfucker sideways, it looks like a cinder block. But anyway, his head is so big and he's always in his head so much to the point where he just simply cannot let anybody have a little inch of something on him, or else he believes that he loses. It's very sad. It honestly is very sad to see, and I hope he can get him some help one day, but it's probably not gonna be today. So in closing, the only thing I want to say is LTG, get your shit together, bro. Be a better person. It's just that simple.